Or if you may snow. Yeah. So that's cool. You're not right, so and everything else. No, this morning you're driving in. So the job, and I went, it was slippery. I didn't even know.
Mr. Mott.
Oh, yes, sir.
I don't know what or how long your attorney is going to be, so this is gonna have to be reset.
All right, yes, I understand, y'all.
Thank you.
Do you have a date?
He has an exam date. Yeah. We'll see you next week for your exam. Your attorney will schedule a meeting with you outside of this.
Yes, I understand. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Wait, one more thing, y'all. Do you have the name of my lawyer?
It's Mr. Silverthorne.
Still. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, so that will be it.
That'll be all for today.
All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Mr. Silverthorne's on both of those files, Your Honor.
I don't have an attorney on the second one. It just says zone 9.
Oh, okay. Same thing I had. I didn't know if you had better information.
And your witness, I believe, is here in Zoom. If you need your witness or something.
No, Your Honor. If she could. Thank you. Are we gonna waive his appearance and just? Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Well, Your Honor, whenever the court is ready, it sounds like Ricky Williams is in the hospital. So his attorney, Mr. Carter, is here to request good cause to waive the 21 days. And then I think we're going to request another PCC. Is that right?
Emily Allswed, Weed.
I believe she's the victim on mine. Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, she was in the waiting. Emily Allsweed.
Yes.
Okay, you're all set for today. You need to appear next week for the exam.
Okay, thank you.
In person. Thank you.
Oh, I need to appear in person?
Next week, yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
They did some good work. It's such a nice thing for us to check. We missed the house. We just got there. I know, I see him walking.
They got another year too.
Yeah, you said something about that. If it weren't for the HOA, and then just the size of our family, we would still be. Oh, you're saying for the other? Yeah.
I believe the 93 day, just
Yeah.
because I don't have discoveries, I don't have a complaint. So
Yeah,
I
let's
just
check it.
show-
Let's check it out. Stephen was under the impression it was retail. That's second. So.
I'm just going by what,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
I'm-
it's, yep, I hear you.
Well, how long is,
Yeah.
supposed to be in the hospital?
I don't know. He was taken into the hospital, I think on Monday. If you recall, I was here Tuesday on a city case with him. And I got a call from his wife yesterday that said he's still in the hospital.
Okay. I can treat next week as a PCC to see if he's out or if we know more
Well,
about.
that'll work. I didn't even think of that. I'm sorry.
We'll do that.
All right.
Sounds good.
Yes, I'll call him off and I'll make a note that it's PCC.
I don't know if she. Got it. So he is enrolled. Yeah. The record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Dennis Dunneback. And this is 24-01506 and 24-02154, council appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Matt Nagel for the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Mr. Dunlap for the two misdemeanors. I believe we also have a felony file for review today that Mr. Feigl can here for.
that is accurate, Your Honor. Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Stephen Feigl, appearing on 24-0269-0 FY, standing in for Ms. Robinson, who's unavailable this morning.
Okay, I do have a report from the Department of Health and Human Services Center for Forensic Psychiatry dated February 25th, 2025. Did the parties get a copy?
Yes,
did.
Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and the examiner has opined that at this time the defendant is not competent, but they believe he has the ability to obtain the capacity to continue this. legal-
Your Honor,
Your Honor, may I ask the date of that report? I think we received
Well,
one in
yes.
January and then one in February.
He is competent. I said not, that was an accident.
Oh,
He is competent, he has the ability to obtain the capacity to continue the legal proceedings, is the opinion of the report.
yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and so any reason to make objections to the body or the conclusion of the report?
Not to be, Your Honor.
Nothing on behalf of Mr. Denbrook with regards to the felony file, Your Honor.
No objection to the report on the misdemeanors, Mr. Dunlap.
Okay, the court will adopt the report and incorporate the findings into the body of the court record. The felony needs to be set for an exam. April 11th at 9:30.
Is it April 11th, 9:30 or
April 11th at 9:30 on that one.
I'll let Ms. Robinson know she should be there.
With respect to the misdemeanors, Your Honor, may we ask for a pretrial date for after April 11th? Because we could potentially resolve those cases depending on how the exam goes.
I would support that request. We're also missing discovery in one of the files, which is why I was gonna make that request anyway.
Ms. Robinson, yeah.
April 14th at 8:30 for the misdemeanors.
Thank you, Your
Thank you, Your
Honor.
Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No problem.
Have a nice day, Ms. Robinson.
Same to you.
But otherwise, like I said.
Sounds good.
I wonder why they put the jail on, but then put anybody in there. And then on the other month side, we do have an appearance, it looks like, for Silverthorne is on both of those.
Oh, he is on both. Okay, thank you. Your Honor.
That's gonna continue to exam next week. We can try the person, see if he talk to his client. Done that, we can knock out, and then we're gonna see why Bisbee was not put on. Although Silverthorne is on that one as well.
Just get this.
Excuse me,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm looking for, who is this inmate?
No, I got inmate Bisbee on his way right now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Chris, Chris McCray?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Okay, you're supposed to be in person?
No, I contacted earlier in January and I was told I could do this as a Zoom.
I don't know you contacted. I don't allow hearings via Zoom. This is small claims.
I contacted the clerk for the small claims office. They phoned me on the 5th of February. I wrote a note, uploaded it into the system, requesting that I'm in Europe right now. Requesting that is to be done by Zoom. They contacted me and said it was fine, and they gave me this phone number.
What is my, did they read me my outlook? I don't know what this is. Okay, let me. I'm assuming, is he the plaintiff? Yes. Okay, so you must not have any evidence, or you're going to, or you have the ability to.
I can share. I also
Demonstrate.
up. I can I can share. I also uploaded some of the evidence into the MI file. I had asked the clerk how to get evidence to you, and she said that usually the judge just wants to see it the day of.
That is correct, but it's your responsibility to demonstrate the
Okay.
evidence. But if you have it in my
Yep.
file, I'll see if it's in there.
Okay.
Let's refresh. I saw Mr. Silverthorne log in.
Yes, he wants to speak with you.
Put them in a room.
Yes.
Still don't sign it, overall, right?
No.
Yeah, okay. Once the court's done with this.
Nine 29. I don't know whether that's what- Afraid is scheduled for 9:30. Okay, Mr. McCray, I vaguely remember someone from the clerk's office asking me if someone out the country, it must have been you. I do not see, however, the other party yet.
Mhm.
So, it's only 9:32, so we'll see if they appear.
Yeah, much better.
It's so crazy how big that wall is. Right. Alright, let's see. Mr. Simmons still being busy or?
He is still doing his client.
Okay, this is the state of Michigan versus Dominic Williams, 24-03228, appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Matt Nagel for the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Derek Ethridge, from Office of the Public Defender, on behalf of Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams is in the courtroom standing to my right.
Okay, I'm just reading my note from January 10th. This was a matter that was adjourned because the victim requested an attorney.
That's correct, Your Honor. And if the victim was going to be present today, I was going to ask to speak in chambers about it. I've spoken to the officer in charge, and in light of what I've learned from the victim since the last case, or since the last hearing, since the victim is not present today, the people would be unable to proceed, and therefore I would expect the press to make a motion.
Now, at this time, we'd ask the court to dismiss the case. We understand the case can be dismissed without prejudice. I've already talked to Mr. Williams about that. We've also talked about it possibly being issued within the statute of limitations. Your Honor, just an update on that. I did provide her the phone number to our office to contact our office to get conflict counsel if she wanted to speak with an attorney. She never did contact our office to do that.
Your motion to dismiss is granted without prejudice. We'll get you a copy of the dismissal in just a moment. Do you have any questions for the court?
No, ma'am.
Some ask for the record.
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You're not on tether or anything, are you?
Fine.
Okay, we'll make sure they're notified that you need to return there to have the tether removed.
Okay, do I have to go out there to get it removed?
You do.
Dismissal order.
This is the state of Michigan versus Deontay Wright, 24-02791. Appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Matt Nagel for the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Gidget James on behalf of Deontay Wright, who is standing to my right at the podium.
Today was the date that was scheduled for preliminary examination. And my understanding is that there are no witnesses.
That's correct, Your Honor. For the people who are unable to proceed, I would expect a motion from the defense.
Your Honor, this is a date and time set for the preliminary exam. We are ready to proceed. The people cannot proceed. We are asking for dismissal. You understand that that would be without prejudice. I've explained to Mr. Wright that if circumstances change or if they locate the witness later and she's willing to cooperate, charges can be reissued.
Motion to dismiss is granted without prejudice. I will get you a copy of dismissal in just a moment.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, he also has on a tether.
Yep, we'll notify them. You have to go back down to Ingham County for them to remove it, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
Yeah, were you waiting for a court date, sir?
And Piper were sending emails back that they just want to leave it on.
Ms. McClinton. Oh, Mr. McClinton.
That's right.
Got it, okay. Your attorney said you're gonna continue to exam, so we'll see you next week for your court date. You're represented by Courtroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, he said that you're continuing to your preliminary examination, which is scheduled for next week.
Okay, I don't have any paperwork or nothing to show why, saying that.
That you're gonna have an exam next week?
Yes, I don't have anything.
When you were
Okay,
arraigned?
you saying for next, Thursday? the
Correct.
6th? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Do you need us to print another copy of that for you?
No, ma'am, I know.
Okay, okay, we'll see you next week then.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. State of Michigan versus Demond Bisbee, 25-00479, appearance please.
Going on in that neighborhood, people.
Good morning, Honor Dwayne Silverthorne from the Office of Public Defender on behalf of Demond Rashad Bisbee, who's appearing on screen from the Ingham County Jail.
Okay, Mr. Bisbee is scheduled for preliminary examination on March 6th at 9 a.m. in person at the court. Are we continuing to exam?
No, Your Honor. Mr. Nagel transmitted an offer to me late yesterday, and I was able to discuss that with Mr. Bisbee. It's to a misdemeanor, and I have prepped him for a plea if the court would entertain that.
What's the offer?
I'll look it up, Your Honor. I didn't know we were gonna be doing a plea today.
Well, I didn't, Mr. Nagel, until I had a chance to discuss it with him, which I just finished doing.
And I understand, no problem. I wasn't ready for that. It looks like this was gonna be amended, Your Honor, to 1 count of assault and battery and 1 count of retail fraud in the 3rd degree.
Okay, you're amending count 1 to
Assault and battery, and then an added count 2 of retail fraud in the 3rd degree.
and Mr. Bisbee wants to plead guilty to that today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Mr. Bisbee?
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
You can put your hand down. Okay, Mr. Bisbee, if you want to plead guilty to the amended charges, you will need to understand your rights, and then you have to give those rights up. You have the right to the presumption of innocence, so you're innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to require the prosecution prove your guilt at trial by proving each element of the charges being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to remain silent at your trial, and they cannot use the silence against you. You can waive your silence and testify at your trial if you'd like. You have the right to present evidence that you believe show a defense to the charge being brought against you, and the right to subpoena witnesses that will testify on your behalf. Do you understand all of those rights that you would have to give up today, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're willing to give those rights up?
Yes, ma'am.
Is anyone threatening you to get you to give these rights up?
No, ma'am.
Has there been any promises extended to you in exchange for you entering a guilty plea to the amended charges?
No, ma'am.
Are you currently on probation?
No, ma'am.
Are you on parole?
No.
Do you have any other criminal matters that are pending at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You understand that by pleading guilty to this, it could have an impact on your bond status. I don't know. I'm not sure of what you have pending at this time. But if this happened or allegedly occurred after the fact, pleading guilty could have effect on any pending bond violations. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It also can have an impact on travel or immigration status you may seek in the future. So you may want to travel out of the country on vacation, and you could be denied that ability by pleading guilty. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You also may need to report these convictions on your future job application, or you may need to report it to your current employer. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, as to the amended count 1 of assault and battery, how do you plead?
Guilty.
And as to the added count 2 of retail fraud in the 3rd degree, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Factual basis, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. President, I'm going to take you back to just a couple of weeks ago. On or about the February 15th of this year, were you at 401 South Pennsylvania Avenue?
Yes, sir.
That was a gas station, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And at that gas station, they had an inside store, correct?
Yes, sir.
And this was this gas station, which was on Pennsylvania, was in the city of Lansing, County of Ingham, state of Michigan, correct?
Correct.
And at that time, did you take an ice cream bar that was offered for sale?
Yes.
And you did not pay for it, correct?
Correct.
And you weren't intending to pay for it, is that correct?
Correct.
And prior to taking that, and during that time, were you armed or were you in possession of a knife?
Yes.
And did it have a blade of approximately 5 or 6 inches long?
Yes.
And at that time, was that store, was there an employee in there, a Ghulam Jafar Kang?
Yes.
And did he see that knife?
He's saying something.
Okay. And would you agree
I
that seeing?
didn't understand his response. I didn't hear your response. Did he see the knife, Mr. Bisbee?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and you would agree that taking an ice cream bar or any item while you're armed with a knife could put a person in fear. Is that correct?
Yes.
And in fact, this employee at some point around the time that you took the bar went back in behind the plexiglass window that guarded the cash register area, correct?
He was already behind the cash register.
Okay, but you would agree that seeing a knife under those circumstances could put you in fear.
Yes.
And if Mr. Kang in fact told the police that he was fearful, you would have no reason to doubt that, would you?
No, sir.
Thank you. I have no further questions. If Your Honor has any.
I do have questions about the assault and battery. So he had a knife. How did the clerk know he had a knife?
That's addressed to you, Mr. Bisbee.
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure.
You're not
I
sure
know
how
I
he,
had a knife. I know I had a
you had a
knife.
knife. Yeah, that's what I'm asking. You said you had a knife, but how did the store clerk know that you had a knife?
I'm not sure. Maybe he seen it when I was putting on my stuff or gathering my items as seen on the video.
And you were inside the store putting on some stuff, you're saying, or you were outside the store?
Inside, ma'am.
Okay, and you had some items, and one of those items was a knife?
Yes.
And did you use this knife or show the knife to the clerk officer or the clerk of the store? I'm not understanding where the assault is coming from.
Yeah, I didn't show him no knife.
You did show him the knife?
I did not. I don't believe that I showed him the knife. If I did, it
That's
wasn't in no
consistent with the
good.
affidavit of a probable cause as well, which is why I have the concern. I'll accept the plea to the retail fraud. I am not accepting the assault and battery. So if you want to withdraw both and go back to the drawing board, that's fine, but just by the nature of him having a knife in his possession, unless he used that in a way to cause fear in someone, then it's reasonable. It's not reasonable for someone to be fearful or for an assault just because you had a knife. I don't even know what this, was the gas station? The guy could have been behind a glass partition for all I know. I don't understand how we are conceiving an assault from this.
If I might,
I believe
go ahead,
believe the
go ahead,
nature-
Mr. Nagel.
the nature of the plea offer is that upon successful entry of a plea to both assault and battery and retail fraud, then the original count one would be, I guess, amended, I guess is how we should say it. So perhaps it's best to leave this up for the exam, and maybe if the defendant has a change of heart, maybe we can try again on the day of the exam.
Well, it's not, if he's being truthful, which she swore to tell the truth and the whole truth, he's been consistent, and I believe that's consistent with the report that I got in my file as to how the charge was granted by the court. The affidavit of probable cause is consistent. It states he didn't use the knife like that. He just said on the record during the factual basis that he thinks the guy saw it while he was putting the things in his bag. So unless there's some evidence outside of that.
Well, right, I don't know what's on the statement of probable cause, but the information that I have is not consistent with what.
Yeah, that's what's in the affidavit of probable cause.
I believe the court, of course.
So we can continue to next week, and he can be further counseled. If we need to run the exam, we can do that, okay?
That's fine, Your Honor.
Okay, you're all set for today, Mr. Bisbee.
All right, thank you, Ms. Simmons.
You're welcome. You can let the deputies know you're all set.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
You're welcome. You ready with me, Sam?
Yes, Ryan.
On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Christina Marie Sams, 19-04826 and 24-02628. Appearances, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Matt Nagel for the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Ms. Sams, who was standing to my right. And Your Honor, she did apologize to me earlier upon arriving a little bit late for sentencing.
You can remove the jail. Okay. Let's see here. It was a date set for pleas in both matters. I do have sentence reports in both dated prepared February 21st, 2025. Counsel, did you get a copy?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, do we need to make any corrections, updates, or deletions?
No, Your Honor, we do not.
Okay, my understanding that she's on probation for 2 years. Is that accurate?
That is correct, Your Honor. In Eaton County, she was sentenced in December.
There's no restitution on this.
Not that I've been made aware, Your Honor.
Oh, it says restitution 7940 to Meyer on the file. I do have a restitution form with this. Amounts don't match. The pre-sentence report says restitution is 79.40. I have a plea sheet though, not a plea sheet, a restitution sheet that says it's $519.87.
And I reach out about third, Your Honor, I believe that 79 is the number that I've heard before. I've never heard the.
I don't know whose handwriting this is, but it says 519.87. Yeah, she may.
Unfortunately, I don't recognize it either. Let me, if, I'll check our file, see what number we have. I can draw up a new restitution form.
Actually, that's on the plea sheet that's signed by both counsels.
The 519 number? Oh, okay.
That was Mr. Markarian.
I can't tell.
I can't tell. I probably, this is a P83 number. So I don't know.
Not Mr. Markarian.
That's not Mr. Markarian. And then Aaron Shorter. So it says the restitution is 519.87. I think though,
Your Honor,
the plea, my advice of rights has multiple files on there. So was there maybe other retail frauds? This plea sheet also do, there was multiple matters dismissed per the plea agreement. So maybe there were.
yes, Your Honor. I just, Ms. Schroeder just sent me a note this morning with a copy of a note from a previous hearing some time ago in October, I think, that does indicate that there were a number of files either dismissed or not issued. I think a combination of each.
Got it.
And
So
that
that's where
number,
amount came from.
yeah, her number comes to 519.87 in that.
That checks out, Your Honor.
Sounds good. Okay, ma'am, are you employed?
No,
Why not?
I'm seeking employment.
Okay.
I am.
I'm allow you to give the allocution. I don't think it's meaningful, obviously, to put her on probation. She's already on probation.
I was gonna have nothing really meaningful to add other than it's a fair, honest, and fairly well thought out recommendation from Mr. Hannah, and I'd ask the court to accept it in its entirety.
Okay, as to file number 19426, there'll be fines and costs only. And that amount, restitution of 519. Will be imposed. It says that you have to agree to stay away from South Pennsylvania Avenue, Meyer. So you should continue to do that. And there's a $75 crime victim rights fee plus a $50 state minimum cost that must be assessed. I'll waive discretionary fines on that file. $306.44 and 87 cents. How do you intend to pay that, ma'am?
Now, would the court consider a collections plan for her? She is obviously still seeking employment and was just put on lengthy probation with each, which also comes with fines.
I understand. I'm just wondering if she's prepared to enter that plan now, or if I need to set this for a show cause and she come back and tell me about her new
I
job.
don't know to come back.
Well, you got, so that's fine. You don't have to. You just gotta tell me how much you're gonna pay and when you're gonna pay it.
It's Friday.
Each month.
I'll bring in 250 right for today.
You're gonna pay $250 today?
Yes.
And then are you looking to make monthly payments after that?
Yes, well, I'll get it paid off as soon as possible, but yes, if I can get it, you know, for sure expire. If I mean, when I expire, I just really want to just Hey, so like, I know what you're saying, like, how much longer would I need to pay it? I'd probably say.
I'm gonna say you're gonna bring $250 today, which is what you said. And then you'll pay $20 per month until paid in full on the 28th of each month, okay? You obviously can pay it off, and I haven't assessed the other file yet. That's just on that file,
And I'm sorry, Your Honor, can you repeat by which day each month?
the 28th.
Thank you.
And then on file number 2628, I don't see that there's any restitution.
No, Your Honor, and I apologize. When I indicated earlier, I didn't think there was restitution. That was on the assault and battery file, which is what the PSI was primarily about.
A $50 state minimum cost and a $75 crime victim right, that'll be assessed for that. And I'll waive the discretionary fines and costs. That's $125 on that. I'll put a note in this file to see the payment plan on the other file. So you'll keep making your payments of $20 minimum until both of these files are paid in full. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions, but that one, something was added onto the five, something, so it's like.
Yeah.
The $20 per month.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's 125. I don't should find that.
but I didn't say how much I owe it on, right?
No, but I'll put you on. I'll check it.
You can pay it online, or you can pay it at the criminal traffic window, or you can mail a check up here every month or money order with your case number on it, okay? You have any questions?
No, I do not.
Okay, any additional matters for the record?
Nothing from defense.
No, Your Honor.
You're all set. I think that's all the criminal that I have.
Yes, ma'am.
Just based on the police report. Yeah.
I'm gonna call my small claims case. Okay, on the record in the matter of Christopher McCray versus J and S Remodeling 24-06788. So state your name for the record. Gentlemen on Zoom, please state your name for the record.
Yes, Christopher McCray.
Okay, your name, sir?
Jesse Shaw.
Okay, today, and you are with JNS Remodeling, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, today was the date that was scheduled for a small claims appeal. Let's see. And you're appealing this, sir? You filed the appeal?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, well, Mr. McCray, you can present your evidence.
Okay, I will share my screen if I may.
Oh, let me give you permission. Let me. There you go.
All right. It says that you can see my screen.
Okay, yep, it's up now. I can see it.
All right. So if we take this chronologically, in August of 2022, we received a quote from JNS, Mr. Jesse Shaw, the sole proprietor, for the installation of siding and soffits on our house at 725 North Chestnut in Lansing. And the quote that we received is what's showing right now. And it's basically, it says that he will do IVAC, the fan fold, house cocked, he will provide the wrapping windows, etc., and we are to provide the siding. And the quote was for 17 to 18,000. This week, a few days later, Mr. Shaw provided the list of materials that we will need to provide for the installation. And we see the list right here. One of the items we'll bring to note is going to be the crown molding, which is going above the windows. At the last hearing, Mr. Shaw stated that this was not allowed by Lansing, but according to Lansing City Historical District Bylaw, Chapter 1220, this house does not lie in any of the historic areas, so there was no problem with nothing happened for the remainder of 2021. In 2022, we asked Mr. Shaw if we're ready to go ahead. He says yes, but because of the price of gas, he raised the price to 18 to 19,000 K for the installation of the siding. And the schedule was for the end of May. We ordered the materials. It arrived in June. Excuse me. And at that time, we gave him $2,000 to hold and proceed with the contract. He sent back, excuse me, a note saying that he received the siding, or sorry, received $2,000 for the siding job. And he had a few more jobs, but he would get to it very shortly. And part of the issue was when we received the material, he asked that we restore it in the garage, but we don't have a garage. So we asked if it's okay if we put it under a tarp. He said that's fine. This is a bit later in that some of the pieces tended to get dirty and we were required to clean it quite regularly, which we did. On June 24th, 2022, Mr. Shaw came up to investigate and take a look and see what we have. He asked at that time for an additional $6,000, which we paid at that time. So on this by check, and we'll look at the checks and then. Sorry.
Let me just get some clarification. You said he asked for additional 6,000? Is that on top of the 18,000?
No, sorry, no, that's partial payment.
Oh, okay, got it.
Okay, partial payment, so we paid him the 6,000. And he stated that he'll start work after the 4th of July. Nothing much happened. He basically stated as well a bit later that he can start, because some of the material was still to arrive, he could start nonetheless and do some of the work. So this pushed the installation into the autumn of 2022. We filled in and we collected all the other material so that all material was on site by early November of 2022. JNS started the work in September 28th, 2022. He worked for a couple of days. He did not return until October 24th, 2022. He requested an additional partial payment of 2,000. He basically stated he had some financial issues and he needed the money. We gave him a check for 2,000 at that time. He collected it and did not work for the remainder of 2022. On the issue of some of the checks, because this was an issue in first hearing, the checks are drawn on TD Bank, which is a US bank, FDIC insured, et cetera. It is not a Canadian bank. The checks, as we can see some of them here, were pre-signed by my wife, Regine Martin, and my son held on to them at the house in Lansing. So he filled in the documents, but it was pre-signed by my wife, except a later check was signed by me. Most of the checks, you can will see that it left our bank account. So within the, if not the day of handing the Mr. Shaw the check, the next banking day that the checks were actually left our account. So they were debited our bank account right away. If there were any issues, I think there were some issues with his bank, but in terms of our bank, it left same day or the next banking day. April 4th, 2023, we began to text to Mr. Shaw, asked him when he can start up the installation again. He made some promises, and it was a bit slow to get anything done. He came by, he committed to come on this 22nd of August. He came on the 23rd for one day and again on the 25th for one day.
Okay, we're in, let's see. So wait, in 2023, what is the first day that he came, you saying?
The 23rd of August, 2023.
Okay, thank you.
And then again for a couple of days later on the 25th, and he worked for another day. He came back again on September 5th and he worked for 4 days. Around about that time, he asked for more money, more of the upfront payment. In that but in the interim, he had another garage project to do and so on. On September 13th, he insisted on more money. We gave him a check. Sorry, we paid him cash for $300 just to tide him over. I have the receipt later. And he worked a couple more days fixing some of the things that were installed in error. On September 15th, he sent a text basically stating he needed $3,000 to keep going. He would adjust the price. And if we did not pay him, he would have to go elsewhere because he was not making any money on our business, on the siding that he was doing for us. We had a bit of history with Mr. Shaw in terms of once we paid him that he would not show up anymore until much, much later. So we asked him both in text all right, understood that we will, we can pay you the $3,000, but we'd like some commitments, some guarantees that the work would be terminated in 2023. He said, yes, that would be no problem. I'll be there next week to knock out most of the work, weather permitting. So we asked him to sign a document. So in consideration of receiving the $3,000, he guarantees that the installation of the 4 windows, which was a different project, and the siding would all be done by the end of October 2023. He signed that, he read it, he signed it, and accepted that that's an acceptable delay. There's the receipt of 20. So at this time, he had received $13,300 of the amount for the installation. It was clear he didn't show up again after that. If we go back to the list of all the texts, all 2024, we've been asking him, when are you coming up? When are you coming up? He would make promises and never show up because there's 100 other excuses that he would use that he just never came up. It was clear that he was not going to finish the job and we needed to move ahead. So we engaged someone else to do the work. I calculated the rough amount of the 18,000 that he did in fact complete. We have the pictures shown here with some of the calculation. And the calculations show that it's about just under 33%, a third of the work has been done. Another issue, going back to the quote, was that he stated that he would install the fanfold insulation, which he did not do anywhere on the house. That's roughly a $600 value to complete the house, and it was not done at all. So I calculated the pro rata of the completion of the entire job of the work he had completed, and it came to just under 1,000, so 5,940. So if we deduct that from the 13,300 that we paid already, it comes to 7,060, limit being 7,000. So we will seek judgment for the reimbursement of the 7,000 plus the court costs for the failure to comply with the contractual obligations that he agreed to in installing the siding and the fanfold at 725 North Chestnut. That's all I have, Matt, Your Honor.
Thank you. I appreciate the thoughtfulness and your presentation of your evidence. If all virtual litigants presented their evidence like you, I would let hearings be held via Zoom. So I appreciate that. You have a defense, sir.
Yes, ma'am. All right. All those dates and times, I don't know where he came up with all that. I have plain Texas from him, his son, about the siding. The siding was prolonged 3 months.
His son is not a party to this, though.
I dealt with his son 90% of the time, dealt with his wife 10% of the time. I never dealt with him maybe 2 times.
Okay, so you have text messages that show what?
Me asking about the siding. Is siding delivered yet? This is 7/12/22. Here's another text, 6/23/22. He stated the siding has not been delivered yet. I'll update you when it arrives. He only ordered 1 box of siding, so I did work with this, what siding I had there, put J channel up, all that good stuff.
Okay, did you advise him or tell him how much siding he was supposed to order?
Yes, I gave him a list. I gave him a list of the 22 boxes.
Okay.
And we only got 1 box.
Okay. Is that correct, Mr. McRae?
Yes, it was 22 square, and when I ordered the materials from the Menards, they gave me 22 units, so just 22 boards instead of 22 squares, which is the boxes as indicated. But as I stated earlier, all the material was on site by November of 2022.
Okay, so your argument is essentially that you told him to order 22 square.
24 squares.
24 squares.
24 squares. And as of October of 22, he's saying no update from Menards. For some reason, they processed 24 squares of siding. It seems unavailable for delivery at the end of October.
Okay,
And then when we did get materials, half the materials are wrong. You got materials for new construction, like crown, that's which we had a problem with the crown molding. All the siding's done up to the top of the windows all around the house.
okay.
So I did
Why
half
is
of
he
it.
ordering materials and not you?
I don't know. That's the way he wanted to do it.
Okay,
So I gave him a list of how many squares. He's the one to order what materials he wanted. That was what he wanted to do, what they wanted to do. I dealt with his son and his wife. I rarely dealt with him. So
okay.
this is all hearsay
Can
from them.
can you put back up the slide, sir, that you had with the list of materials that you were told to order?
Ready?
That's not the list I gave him. It's just what he printed off. The issue was crown molding.
Okay, I'm just, wait a second here. Okay, and so this is an email. It says it's from JS Remodeling Jack. So how is that not from you?
That's from me.
Okay,
Okay.
list for siding, 22 square.
Yep.
Outside corner 16, J channel 7, finished trim channel, starter strips, 20 final, I'm sorry, 10 vinyl crown 35. Says end caps for crown 22 pairs, F channel 15, okay, soffit, solid 33, vented. And then you have some vinyl trim boards. That's the list that you emailed to his wife to order?
I believe so.
Okay, and so your dispute is that when the order came in, it was not 22 square?
No, they only have one box. One box is 2
Oh.
square.
Okay, but that was an error from Menards?
I don't know.
Okay,
I didn't order
you can continue.
it. Okay. So the siding was prolonged 2-3 times. I kept texting them. They kept saying the siding would be delivered soon, and no, how Menards was, they were taking their sweet time and couldn't figure out where the siding was, and it was out of the state. They had to go get it in Ohio. So the siding wasn't in the state. So that's what prolonged everything. Then when we did get the materials, the crown molding was for new construction. You can't put new construction materials on old remodel project.
But your list doesn't say anything that specifies that for them.
Well, I
How
told
are they
them they
supposed to
needed
know?
something solid. They got,
I just looking at the list, where does it tell them that, where does it provide this information for them?
I don't remember doing that list, but that's what they wanted, was crown molding. I told them they couldn't do crown molding because you took the solid crown molding off the house, it leaves a big gap. So they would have water intrusion.
Okay,
And if I would fill the hole up, it would have been like 10 tubes of caulk per window times 20 windows. And there's extra cost there. She wanted one way, their son wanted on one way, and he wanted another way. So I had 3 different people tell me to do it 3 different ways. He wanted a crown. She wanted a crown, but the son that lived there didn't want a crown. So there was this confusion. And I told him that I couldn't do it because it was wrong. That's why the house is done halfway up to the windows. And the siding, he tarped the siding with 2 different tarps, because siding didn't get there till late November. So I live out of town. So he's the one sided or tarped the siding. I come back up there in the spring and it's full of mud. They left it under trees. I mean, you go there now, the siding is covered in mud. And so I asked them over and over to wash it, and they go wash 1 or 2 pieces. So I go up there, put the 1 or 2 pieces on, and that's all I can do for the day. I said, I put siding up full of mud, you had to power wash the house, but they didn't want that either. So I was dealing with the son 100% of the time that lived there. He's from France, so I never really dealt with him.
okay.
I got texts and everything.
Let me
here
see the
saying-
messages that you have here.
It's marked most of them about the ones about siding and stuff.
This is from June 2022.
Believe so.
I'm not sure, but let's see. If it has the red line, does that mean you received the message?
Yeah, he's on
Okay.
the left, I'm on the right.
Got it. Okay, Mr. McCray, is it true that, are these text messages between you and your wife, or these text messages, were you the one communicating with him via text?
I'm assuming they're the same text messages that I received at the last hearing. So they would have been sent to either myself or to my son.
Okay, well, let's see. Whose number ends in 922?
2 would be my son.
That's what I got with.
Okay, and whose number ends in 2244?
That's me.
Right, well, who placed the order for the products?
I did.
Okay, do you have, how did you place the order?
I placed it through Menards and
Did you
just,
display that order on the sheet? Can you put
yes.
that back up for me, please?
Yes, all right, the first order that went through. Here's the first order. So it was done in April. The order date, April 27th, 2022. And it details the list of the items that were ordered. Let me shrink it. You might get a better picture. So yes, there's the A channel that he requested, the vinyl, the crown molding that was indicated.
So is this the siding that was, where's the siding?
Right here. Oops, sorry.
Okay,
Up here. So here it says 24. So when I did the order with Menards, I asked for the 24 square. They sent 24. It is 24 units. That's clearly that was a mistake by the part of Menards.
okay.
So-
When you place, okay. Okay, so obviously at some point, so you were made aware that there was a delay in the products coming, and then the products came, and it was only one box, is what you're saying?
Right, I put that one box on and I had to wait 4 or 5 months for more siding.
Okay, and so let's
And I had to
see.
reschedule them because I had other things going on. I can't keep a 3-hour or 3-year window for them. So I have to refit them in my schedule.
Okay, but I recognize you, this is all in the same year. We're still talking about 2022 though, correct? Your expectation was to start this project in about May or June of 2022.
Right, but the siding that come into December, the rest of the siding that come into late, and it's too cold for siding.
It came in December. Let's see.
It came in
When I
November.
went back to 23, his wife wanted color change. I had to take most of it back down, redo the color of the J channel. And you see my text there, I had to go to Menards, get different color J channels.
Okay, so there looks like there was another order in October of 2022. Was that for the remaining siding?
Is that October or is that August?
October.
Okay. My dates are, I do the European, but anyways, This arrived, yes, the second batch was ordered and it had arrived early November of 2022.
Okay, so what was the delay between the first order and recognizing that there was an incorrect order? What was the delay between that?
Incorrect amount of order, and he ordered wrong amount of order. He ordered 24, which is, should be 24 square.
That appears to be accurate to me. This looks like an
Yes.
order like you did online. Is that what happened?
Yes. And
Okay, so it doesn't-
I don't, I
This
do
doesn't
not,
look like it doesn't look like it's Menard's error. It looks like you ordered the wrong amount.
I put in the 22 units as requested and 22 units got
They had to order
translated
side
into
or side.
22.
Okay, we both can't talk at the same time. Mr. McCray, you were saying something?
Other than, yes, there was an error in communication where 22 squares was my understanding when I ordered with Menards and they had misunderstood. I don't deny, or, I mean, there was a gap in 2022 and the material arrived, everything required to do the installation in November of 2022. I understand that that created a 6-month delay and then the winter delay. I'm not disputing that at all. The main argument we're making
I
is.
agree that there was a delay. So sir, if there was a delay and you couldn't do the job, why didn't you tell them you couldn't do the job? Why did you keep coming back taking money and then?
Because I was working. I didn't just come back taking money. I was working every time I was up
Well,
there.
explain the text message that you needed, that you were having you needed some money and you were gonna
I
discount
can't
them.
live on their money for 2 years. I had to
Well,
go get a
you
job.
had not been working for them for 2 years, so.
Yes, I have. I half the house is done. The side's more done than what in this picture. The side's done up to the windows.
You have pictures?
No.
How do I know that what they're saying is not, I dispute, or I doubt that they
And the
took
sign-
something off before they took the pictures. So if you're saying that's not what it looked like when you left, I need to see
Right.
something that
I
reflects
didn't know.
that.
I didn't know that they were going to have pictures of me halfway done, but that was before I was done. I was still up there working till last December of 24.
You were at their house working until December
My
twenty
tools,
twenty-four?
scaffolding was up there.
Couple months ago?
Yeah. So
That-
he served me papers for court.
I'm
So I went
sorry?
up there and got my tools in December. I was waiting on more siding and then to clean the siding and for them to decide what they want to do with the crown. I told her and her son that I couldn't do the
So-
crown.
Mr. McCray, you were saying something?
The only time he came up when we were having the hearing and we did not know he was going to come to the house. He simply came and took away his equipment that has been at the house for the past
Okay.
year. That's the only thing that happened. He had
Because
not.
This small claims was filed in September, so that's why it doesn't make sense to me that you would have been working in December.
Tools are up there. I left my tools scattered up there waiting for them to decide what they want to do with the crown and materials. I told his son that the materials were incorrect and his mom knew that too, but trying just to communicate between his son that lives there and between them in France, nothing got communicated right. She wanted one thing, he wanted another thing because he lived there. And then he wants a third thing. So it was just nothing but a mess.
Okay, so Mr. McCray, you don't live here?
We were in the house for a while and then my son, we own the house, but my son who's a student, lives there right now.
Okay, so your son is the one that's dealing with him on the day-to-day basis?
No, he would deal he text, because that's the only way we have communicated for the past year and a half is by text. And I have the texts in the support document, item number 10, I believe, in the first go around, where the only communication was between Mr. Shaw and myself. At no time Did he state he was waiting for material? At no time did he state that the crown molding wasn't the correct one.
Told his wife that in person,
Okay, well, you know.
because I
what,
never dealt with him. so
Okay,
that's two times.
I think I need your wife and your son here, because they're,
Wrote the.
I can't take what he says for
Okay.
their word, and I have text messages that
Mhm.
clearly come from your son, and then checks that are signed by your wife, so I have
Okay.
reason to
Yes.
believe that he dealt
All right.
with them. And so we need to have them appear, sir.
All right, I can get my wife right now, if that's all right.
That'll be great.
Just give me a second.
Some real.
Off the record.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Regine Martin.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Okay, and so, Ms. Martin, you are obviously familiar with this contractual agreement?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Okay, okay. And so, was there a dispute about what the vision was? It sounds like the contractor felt like there was 3 different requests that he was receiving.
As I understand.
I'm sorry, do you understand the question? I can rephrase it. The contractor believes that your husband wanted one thing done, you wanted another thing, and your son wanted another thing. I think she's frozen.
Think so? That's never been the case.
Okay, and so did you deal directly, sir, what is your name again?
Jesse.
Did you deal directly with Jesse, whether in person or via text message?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's see if I have these text messages. Who was the number ending in 922? Is that the son?
Yes.
Okay, and then I also have, it's only really one text with another number on there. So it sounds like the son was the person that was texting with you mostly.
Correct.
No, it was mainly my husband.
Well, not from 922 unless you have some more text messages.
We have all the text messages in the support.
Can you put your text messages up for me, please? Oh, you said you filed them though, correct?
Yes.
Okay, let me see if I can pull them up. You don't need to post your screen.
All right, it's support document number 10 on page 24 of the support that was.
Okay. Okay, I see the text message. It looks like it came from Mr. McCray on the 14th of April. He says, hello, Jesse, I would like to get a date when you can start and complete the siding. Actually, this is 2023. Do you have any messages prior to? I think your messages are from 2022, correct? Do you have any messages from 2022 at all, Mr. McCray?
Unfortunately, I did not have this phone. I had a work phone at that time, and I no longer have access to those text messages prior to that. I have emails that have been sending to Jessica as well. But in terms of text messages, no, Your Honor, I don't have anything prior to that.
And you have emails from 2022, you're saying?
At that time, it would have been between my wife and Jesse, and in 2023, it would have been myself and Jesse. But they were few and far between. We dealt with text messages. Phone messages didn't work because his mailbox was always full.
Okay, I have here what appears to be messages from a number that is associated with your son. It says, "Hi, Jesse, the sighting has not been delivered yet. I'll update you when it arrives." Response from him says, "Okay, I will be ready in a week or so, but I can do house wrap and fan fold while we wait. What's the ETA on the sighting? I thought it was June 13th. It says the response from your son was supposed to be June 13th, but got delayed and no new date was given. His response was okay. June 23rd, 2022. It looks like he texts tomorrow morning, good for me to come do inventory and see what I need to get, etc." And let's see. Same text.
Can I say something?
Not at this time. This is the same text. I'm trying to follow the flow. The issue that I have with your messages, sir, is that I don't know if they're in order. And then you piecemeal some things. So I have one text from June 23rd, 2022. And then I don't got the complete, you didn't give me the complete conversation. And then it skips to September 29th. So I don't know what's going on.
That's probably when I was talking to her in person.
Okay, so then it says, "I'm here." I have this, maybe it's out of order. June 24th, "I'm here." So maybe they responded, "Yes, it's okay." I don't know, but I don't know who the her is because you're texting the son at this time.
I don't know who I was texting. They gave me three different numbers to text.
You're texting
Kept
with the
switching-
son.
They kept switching numbers.
I see on July 12th, you said sighting get delivered. They said yes. Okay, good. I got a week and a half or so on this job, then I'll be up there, start trimming trees and bushes soon.
That's not an issue I had with the trees and bushes. They didn't have the trees and bushes trimmed.
Okay.
It was a jungle. I couldn't get my ladders in there. They had to trim the trees and that was another 2-week prolonged delay.
Okay, so let's see. That was July 12th, 2022. August 11th, 2022. A message, "Be up there next week for sure. Been caught up in a bind." Is that,
Not sure. I'm not sure who it is. Well,
that's from you?
I know, but I didn't.
I don't know what that means. Okay. Okay, so let's see. I don't see another message, it appears, until the 29th.
I got
Of
tons of
September?
messages on it. I printed out. I got thousands and thousands of texts from, but this one.
Okay, well, for me to have full context, I need the conversation. I can't, because I don't know if important portions of this conversation have not been provided. If you want me to use this for context. On September 29th, 2022, update from Menards. They are chasing down the vinyl crowns now. For some reason, they processed 24 squares of siding as 24 units. Seems it would be available for delivery end of October, unless you know another way to get it earlier. How long do you think it'll take to install the siding that we do have? Your response, "Okay, I'll try to come back up tomorrow or Saturday." And that, I believe, is all that you need for that conversation, unless
All the siding we had is on the house.
Okay,
separate
I'm not
pieces.
asking, I'm trying to follow this conversation, so it's not helpful for me while I'm trying to follow this that you think you can just start blowing out
Sorry.
more information. Because there's portions of this conversation that's missing, or it's not in order. And so
Sure.
I'm trying to put it in order. I have now. Twenty-three, this is 22. I have here the end of a text message, something more citing yet. I got the J blocks for lights and the spigots today. Citing should be here in the next few days. Okay, good. But I don't know when that message came in because it's cut off. I now see a message from October 24th on my way, driveway open. And then October 24th, looks like there's a YouTube sent about installing window casings with crown.
Because we was having issues with Chrome.
Got it. Let's see, October 24th. It says, this is 2022, come look, is what you say. And then someone says they don't know how to install the crown molding. So I think the question that they asked, you said, I think undersill trim might work. Get one and try it. And then the next day, that check won't clear. It's on a 5-day hold. Hopefully it clears soon. It says the bank won't release the funds. Can you call them and see why? This doesn't, that's 2022.
Yeah. Issues with their checks too.
November 10th, 2022. I'm going to be out of town tomorrow through next week. If you're going to come up, please keep me updated on your progress. Citing still listed as in transit. It says your response. We need white 3/4 J channel to go around windows. That's what the crown is made to go in. Do we have to have that or need to buy is the question. Need to get a box of it. I think you must have meant sure. Make Sue it's 3/4 inch channel in white. That is from October, I'm sorry, this is November 2022. It might be another November 2022. Oh, this was in regards to the check. It says maybe tomorrow afternoon check just cleared today, but for sure Thursday. They're asking you when you think you'll be back up there. You said maybe tomorrow afternoon, check just cleared today, but for sure Thursday and rest of the week, more citing comment. They said not yet. You say, yes, I'll be back rest of week. They say, okay. And that's when we start talking about the citing and it's still listed in transit. You ask them to buy the 3/4 channel. White, it looks like that's all I have for 2022. And then I have for you text messages from 2023. This is not the same number for the son. This is the number ending in 2244. Whose phone number is that?
That would be mine.
Okay. Looks like someone sent a message about it's been raining a lot lately. I'm ready to come up today. Is it raining there? They respond, rain, it's done. You say, okay, good. And then this is August 2023, by the way. I'll be up. So that was on August 12th. They were talking about rain. Now August 20th. I'll be up Tuesday. All the citing and correct J channel there now.
They've had issues with citing the J channel, hasn't it?
I can interpret that, I didn't need you to explain that. What I'm trying to figure out is where's the next text message in this communication because it's missing. Let's see. The next thing I have is same number, but it's now September. September 8th. You said I'll be there soon. no rain there. They respond, no rain. You say, okay. Now it's the 10th of September. May rain late tomorrow. We'll have some cash if you come up, is what is said. You said, I'm going to go to do the garage roof tomorrow. I be back up Tuesday or Wednesday. Can we aim for Thursday windows or siding? You said I'd be up Monday. Response from Mr. McCray, okay, my son has class until noon. Do you need access to the inside of the house before then? You say no. And that's all that I have. I don't have anything from you, sir, Mr. Jesse, that shows me where you told them that due to this delay, you're unable to do this job.
Well, the text is, I kept asking if the siding was there.
That's not, asking the signings here does not indicate that you're unable to perform the job. The beginning of this was 2022, which if anyone was doing work, understand that there was already probably a delay on materials anyways, if you're doing work on your house in 2022, because we were just coming out of the pandemic. However, there was also some kind of error. Maybe it's user error. Maybe there was a glitch in the system. That is unclear. What it looks like to me is maybe Mr. McRae or whoever placed the order, if it was placed online, clicked the wrong thing. I don't know why that, unless he knows how to order materials, I don't know why he would be ordering them anyways. Nonetheless, there was some delay, but I don't see where you are saying, I have to move on, I have other jobs, I can't do that. It appears that you were able to shift. And if you're going to shift and you're going to tell them that you have now time to do the job, the expectation is that you're going to do the job. So once that siding came in, which was the end of November, anything post that becomes an unreasonable delay, you can't attribute to the fact that it was a delay early on, because you didn't, and you raised the price. Did you not after the delay?
Yeah, because fuel costs went up.
I agreed. So you even adjusted the price and they've adjusted the price. Agreed. So there was a delay, fuel costs went up, they paid the additional and they put money down. But what I see now in the messages that they provide are from 2023, which is now the siding is in, the materials are in. And the expectation is that you're coming to now do this work. There was nothing, where did you communicate to them that you're not able to set aside time to do this work because of the delay?
I told their son in person that.
You probably told their son in person?
I did. I talked to their son 99% of the time.
Okay.
I told them the siding that they have was incorrect and the crown was incorrect, and everything I can put up is on the house now. Nothing, I cannot do no more work until they figure out what they want to do with the crown and get more siding. The siding that's up there now is just pieces. She changed the siding on me. She wanted full pieces. So I had to tear off the siding and do full pieces for her and change the color on the corners for her. So when you do full pieces, you have to get more siding because you can't reuse your 2 foot, 3 foot sections. So they're seams. She didn't like seams. So when you do that, you don't reuse your siding, you need more siding. So I told them they need more siding.
But the siding came in October, November 2022, correct?
Correct, but now we need more siding because she decided she don't want seams on the house. She wants to use all full pieces. So only thing that's up there now are 2 foot, 3 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot pieces. Each piece of siding is 12 feet. If we don't reuse your siding, and you stagger the seams, you're gonna run out of siding.
Okay. And the exhibit,
So I'm all siding.
and document 10, I should say, that came from Mr. McCray, it starts in 2023. This is now obviously the siding of the materials came in the middle of the middle of winter or late fall, I believe. And so you're not able to do the job then. It looks like they re-engaged with you in April of 2023, the spring, to see now they're trying to arrange the date for you to come and do the siding at that address because now they have the materials. You give them a date. You said, I'm not booking, let's see, I'm finishing up a roof tomorrow, then starting a roof porch job Monday and I have nothing else. I have the whole month of July open. I get back up there after the next roof job in a few weeks. I'm not booking nothing else till August. They said, thanks, July works. They provide contact information, ask you, do you have the windows? Let's see. They reach out to you again about windows about 2 weeks later. And then it's now July 2nd. They ask you, hi, Jesse, do you have an update on the start? You don't seem to respond for 4 days. Rain every other day is putting me behind on schedule. Let's see. Okay. Let us know when you can start. They respond this within minutes. Let's see. It's about a week and a half, 2 weeks later. Hi, Jesse, do you have an update start? You respond 7 days later. I'm still roofing. I can start on weekends. Let's see. They say, okay, it's 2 days later. Okay, let us know if you need access to the house for the windows. Let's see. Now we're into August. You say, it's been raining a lot lately. I'm ready to come up today. Is it raining? They say raining's done. These are the other portion of your messages that you've actually sent. They say, okay, good. You say, okay, good, because they say rain is done. They say, check in to see when you will start on 725 Chestnut. So the concern I have is it's August 12th when you say that you were coming down that day. They told you the rain is done. It's now August 20th, and they're again checking to see when you're going to start. So it must not, there must have been a break in between your coming, and no, there's no communication here.
The windows were delayed, and that was what's holding me back due to sagging. The windows were back ordered.
Okay, your response though is I'd be up Tuesday, all the siding and correct J channels there now. You say yes, they say yes. Okay, I'll be up Tuesday. They say thanks. Do you have a rough time to start? 8 or 9, depends on traffic. They, it looks like, reached out to you on the 22nd to see if you were still coming. You said, waiting to see if it's going to rain. Try for tomorrow.
Those texts doesn't mean I wasn't there. I was dealing with their son. They were in France.
But you're texting him at 9:54 in the morning, Mr. McCray. He's asking, are you still coming? You respond back at 12 and say you're waiting to see if it's going to rain and try for tomorrow. And so he responds and says, okay, 10 a.m. is better for us. I can assume that you did not appear on the 22nd and that you were going to come on the 23rd now. And so now the 23rd, they text you in the morning at 7:58 in the morning. No rain until tonight. Will you be coming up? You say yes. That was on the 23rd. And then move on to the 24th. Coming up today, 24th, be back tomorrow, is what you said. Going to be too hot today. Let's see. There's supposed to be a break. I'm just trying to see where there's a communication that you're giving to Mr. McCray that the reason for the delay is because of something that he caused at this point. Because at this point, the materials have been there. I don't see any text messages outside of back and forth scheduling times where you have communicated to Mr. McCray that you don't have what I need.
I was dealing with his son. He was in France.
No, you're dealing with him. These are pages of text
I was dealing with his
messages.
son too. I was texting 2 or 3 people at the same
Okay,
time. I didn't know who I was
have you
texting.
subpoenaed the son to testify?
No.
Okay, do you have any witnesses that can support your position that you were dealing with the son and you told the son something contrary to what he has provided here today?
I was dealing with the son 99% of the time. I gave the estimates. The son wrote me the checks. All through his son.
Well, Mr. McCray has presented the checks, which Mr. McCray, I believe those checks were signed by you, is that correct?
No.
They were.
Are you Mr.
Sorry, I'm
McCray?
sorry. Yes, my wife signed 3 of them. I signed 1 of them. So she had re-signed some checks, left it with my son who completed in to fill in the amount requested by Mr. Shaw.
Okay, I see the checks, I see your name, I see the dates. You received 2,000 in May. You received 6,000, and that's May of 2022, that is. 6,000 June of 2022. You haven't started a single thing at this point because you said this stuff is not there, correct?
Sign number showed up.
Okay.
I started what was there.
But it wasn't, you said it wasn't really anything, it was 1 pack, but you've gotten $8,000. Then there was October 2022, another $2,000 that you received, but from the records that I have, the materials aren't even here yet, correct? $10,000 you've
I did other
received.
jobs there, so that could be from different jobs. I did work in the attic, I did one of those, I've done other jobs there.
As part of this,
No, not part of this contract. I can show the other check that we paid for the attic and for him to order the windows. That was a complete separate contract, nothing to do with the siding.
you had a separate contract and he was paid separately for those things?
Correct, Your
You
Honor.
have that, so I don't know why we're talking about that. You were paid for the roof of the job, it says here, on these dates, correct?
Roof job?
I'm sorry, the siding jobs. You were paid the 2,000, 6,000, 2,000 in 2022.
Yes, no,
Okay.
siding that's there is on the house. The only thing is up there.
Well,
backyard
at the
is
time,
cracks.
those,
Still need more siding, more crown.
at this time, you hadn't received 8,000, they hadn't even gotten an order yet. Nothing had came in, not a single thing.
I did some work. I did work there for other things and I did some siding. There was
Where
box
did the
showed
side-
up, box showed up,
When?
J channel showed up.
When?
I'm not sure, the date's not from.
Okay, a judgment in favor for the plaintiff in the amount requested. I don't find your testimony to be very credible and you have not brought anything to support the testimony. I have countless evidence here that shows me, and even the stuff that you showed me, which is just some text messages that are missing a lot of holes in it, that they didn't even have anything received in June of 2022, but you've already received $8,000 from them on that point, at that point. For you to come now and tell me that you received, you had put up some siding, that's not what you just finished telling me on your statement. So I'm not gonna go back and forth and spend time trying to create confusion for the court. You did not have any siding to put up in June of 2022 because the order didn't come in. And when it came in late July or whatever it pushed back to, you said it wasn't enough. But you had already received $8,000 on the contract price, which was $18,000 at that point. And then they paid you again an additional $2,000, and then it looks like $3,000 in September, October and September for you to come back. And it's countless back and forth of when are you gonna come back and do the job? If you had have told them, you know what, that delay really pushed me back, I have other jobs to do, I can't do this job, that's different. But what you communicated was to the contrary. I will be here in July and I'm giving you the entire month and I'm not even taking another job until August, is what you told them. And then that didn't happen. And then outside of that, the time comes where you're no longer even doing work. They're not even hearing from you, but you're still demanding money because based on their testimony, you're telling them that you're short on cash. Their testimony is that you didn't even show up to work at their house at all in the year of 2024.
Yes.
But you told me that you were there working in December of 2024, which is 2 months ago, which makes no sense because there was already a case filed against you in small claims court in September, and you'd already had a hearing.
Stuff was there waiting.
You were not working. So judgment in the matter of $7,000 plus court costs to the plaintiff. You're all set. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.